Muy bien, lo siento muchísimo. Esto es para Holly, es para Brett. Qué tonta soy yo. What a fool I am. This always happens when I have to take a song off for copyright and I forget to hit the record button again. Voy a grabar otra vez. I'm going to record one more time. Voy a grabar otra vez la parte que se me olvidó de grabar. I'm going to record the part again that I forgot to hit my record button for. Okay, es un repaso. This is a review. So I'm going to record what I forgot to hit my record button for. Es el uso de se en combinación con lo o la, los o las. ¿Vale? Bien. Entonces, vamos a empezar. Quizás 15 minutos, 10 minutos nada más. This will be a really short recording. Vamos a empezar con whiteboard. Ok, por ejemplo, voy a explicar por qué es importante. Un uso importante del se es cuando se es una palabra que sustituye con le. When we substitute se for the word le, or we substitute se for the word les. And this happens when we use those double object pronouns, okay? Voy a explicar, I'm going to explain. We can use me, nos, te, os en España, le, y les. When I want to say that somebody is doing something to me, right? To you, to us. To him, to her, to you. The le could be to him, to her, to you, formal, a usted, right? Or les, or you're doing something to or for them, okay? El problema ocurre, the problem happens when I have to combine me, te, nos, le, or les with one of these words. Lo, la, los, o las. Now, no hay ningún problema. There is no problem whatsoever if I combined me, te, or nos with the direct objects lo, la, los, las. Melo, mela, melos, melas. Perfecto. Telo, tela, telos, telas. Perfecto. ¿Ok? Noslo, nosla, noslos, noslas. Magnífico. Pero no se puede usar le ni les con los complementos directos. You cannot use le or les with these lo, la, los, las words. We can't. It creates la, 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 an alliteration effect that Spaniards do not like. Spanish speakers do not like. Too many la, 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 la sounds and your tongue tripping over itself. So if I need to combine le with one of these direct objects, or les with one of these direct objects, those two words, the words, las palabras, le and les have to become se. And then I can combine se with lo. I can combine se with la. I can combine se with los. I can combine se with las. Okay? Entonces, por ejemplo, para darles un ejemplo, to give you guys an example. Juan me lo pagó. Perdón, necesito mis... Aquí, ok. Juan me lo pagó. He paid it to me. Me lo pagó. Juan te lo pagó. Perfecto. Juan nos lo pagó. He paid it to us. Perfecto. If I want to say Juan paid him, paid it, his debt, his bill, lo que sea, whatever it may be. If I want to say he paid it to him, he paid it to her. No se puede decir Juan le lo pagó, le lo pagó. No, difícil. Juan se lo pagó. Se lo pagó. But this se can mean many different things. Just as le can mean to him, to her, to you, a usted, or les can mean to them, all gals, to them, all guys, to them, mixed group, to you guys, a ustedes. Now, if se substitutes for both of those, it becomes a very confusing situation. Se could have many meanings, okay? If it is in the course of a normal conversation and you know to whom you are referring, there's no need to define that. Se probably won't confuse anybody. But if the person who is speaking has any doubt that you will understand who they mean by that word se, because it can mean so many things. They may add on a little phrase. That means a clarifying phrase. Se lo pagó Anita. He paid it to Anita. Juan se lo pagó al banco. He paid it to the bank. Juan se lo pagó. Se lo pagó a sus suegros. He paid it back to his in-laws, right? To his in-laws, a sus suegros. And the a sus suegros would define that se means to them. ¿Está bien? Okay, ¿vale? So sometimes we may have a clarifying phrase, an phrase, to define who we mean by se, if it is unclear from the context of the sentence, if they think you're not following for whatever reason. So this is one of the reasons when Brenda did her video on the many uses of se, that se substitutes itself in for le, or substitutes itself in for les, okay? But those combinations of me lo, me la, te la, nos lo, nos la, those are all okay. Those require no change, but le or les must change to se if I combine it with a second direct object. ¿Vale? Okay, entonces, vamos a ver. I will replay for you the exercise we did with this, and you'll get this in a, oops. You will get this in as a link that you can go back and quiz yourself again, you know, separately. It's going to ask you to pick one of these combinations, and they're not, it won't be just se, right? It can be any of these combinations of an indirect object with an indirect, with a direct object, the two together, those. Okay. So we're going to take the little quiz together. It'll tell you an answer right away. And I'll define real quickly what these mean. And they're going to give us prompts with a DO, meaning direct object, and an IO, meaning an indirect object. You're going to have to put them in the right order, right? El orden correcto es indirecto primero, o reflexivo, depende. Reflexivo o indirecto. Número uno. Complemento directo, segundo. Direct object is the second part, right? So indirect first, or if you've got a reflexive before anything, that's where it goes. But usually it's indirect, then a direct, and usually in front of the verb. This is very, very odd. If you've got only one verb working, it's going to be indirect object, to whom it was being done, the direct object, what received the action of that verb directly, and then the verb. English does the opposite word order. I gave it to him. In Spanish, it will be to him, it, I gave. It's what they do. Now, las cosas pueden cambiar. Things can change. If I don't have just one verb working, if I don't have just one, if I use a two-verb phrase, conjugated verb and an infinitive together, then you have a choice. You can put the indirect and direct in front of the verb as usual, okay? Or you can attach it to the infinitive, but then it must attach and all become one long word, all right? The other odd situation is if you've got a command and it's an affirmative command, meaning a go do it command, like give it to me. With an affirmative command, you must attach those pronouns, okay? Dámelo, give it to me. Because it's a command, you must attach them. But with a single verb that's not a command, just a statement of fact, it'll be indirect object pronoun, then the direct, and then the verb, okay? Y vamos a ver. So we're going to take a look at these. And they start us off with this fun expression of carcajadas. Carcajadas are this. Belly laugh, okay? We've got a special word for that. Carcajadas. Ellos cuentan a carcajadas. They're telling it laughing out loud. They're telling it laughing uncontrollably. So the it is going to be lo, and the me is who they're telling this to as they're screaming wildly laughing, okay? Ellos, and we've got all these possible combinations. If we want to say that they're telling it to me, it's ellos me lo cuentan. Me lo cuentan. They're telling it to me. Okay? We should be able to move down. Whoop. Go on to the next one. Okay. Uy, a ver. I do not want everything highlighted. Okay. El profesor explica claramente. The professor, the teacher, explains clearly. He explains direct object, it, something, we don't really know what, but he explains it to those guys, to them. And remember, I can't use les lo. Les lo does not work. Okay, it's too alliterative. They do not like the la 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 la. So les will have to change into something else. Okay, one verb, un verbo explica. So we need explain it to them. So it's se lo explica. El profesor se lo explica. Bien. Muy común. Wow, this is common when someone is vehemently protesting that they swear to God. This is true. Instead of saying swear to God, it's juro, I swear. I swear it, do means direct object, lo, I swear it, whatever the it is. I swear it to you becomes te lo juro, te lo juro. I swear to you, honest to God, es la verdad, it's really true. Okay, Juan y Paco, dan, they're giving something, oh, they're giving it, direct object, they're giving one thing, to you. Juan y Paco, te lo dan, they're giving it to you. Vale. María canta a ellas. María is singing to them, and it's an all-female audience. María canta a ellas. She's singing it. La is probably substituting for canción, la. She's singing it to them, a group of people. Okay? It becomes se la. María se la canta. Se la canta. She sings it to them. And if we want to be specific that se means a group of gals, we have to include a clarifying a ellas if we think that's not clear. se la canta a ellas. Bien, alguien robó. Somebody stole something. In this case, from me. Somebody stole it from me. Alguien, pum, 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 me lo robó. Me lo robó. El regalo dio a nuestro vecino. The gift, dio, gave to our neighbor, a nuestro vecino. So that's the to him. Somebody gave it to him, gave it, lo, to him or to her, le. It becomes se lo dio. Se lo dio, gave it to him. Okay. Rosario y Teresa escondieron. They hid. They concealed something. Rosario y Teresa, they hid it, direct object, lo, it, something, we don't know what. They hid it from him or from her. It becomes se lo escondieron. Se lo escondieron. They hid it from them, or from, excuse me, from him or from her. We don't really know which. We don't have a clarifying phrase there. Se lo escondieron. Sé que, I know that. Has contado, you have told. I know that you have told lo, it, to them, les. Sé que se lo has contado, se lo has contado. I know that to them, it, you have told. When you've got a compound verb, two verbs working together like this in a compound tense, this is present perfect, nothing can separate the has contado. We cannot stick the se lo phrase in between the has and contado. It must be in front of the conjugated verb, which is the form of haber, in this case, has. It must be in front of that first verb, has contado. So we can't split up those two verbs there. Dio a usted, gave to you, gave it, the thing that was given was it, something, lo, to him or to her. Y la respuesta es, se lo dio. Se lo dio to him or to her, it, he gave. Oh, excuse me, not to him or to her. A usted, we've got a clarifying phrase. He gave it to you or she gave it to you. Se lo dio a usted. I wasn't looking at my a usted clarifier. A usted, there the se is to you, but it's the, right, the formal you. El camarero lleva. Lleva carries, transports, brings in this case. Brings it to somebody. Oh, brings it to us, nos. Brings them to us. We don't know really what the las is substituting for. Something feminine. El camarero, muy fácil. Nos las lleva, brings them to us. Nos las lleva. Quiero escribir, I want to write it. Maybe a letter. We have a la, maybe it's substituting for carta. Writing it to him or to her. Quiero escribir. Notice we've got two se las. And notice our placement. This is a two-verb phrase. Quiero escribir. I could put in front of quiero. Se la quiero escribir. They are hinting that they don't want you to put it in front, that they want you to attach it. If I attach it, it becomes all one word. So it can't be the se la separated. It has to be the se la all squashed together onto the end of escribir. And you would actually need an accent mark on the IR of the escribir. Escribírsela. Quiero escribírsela. It would be equally correct to say, se la quiero escribir. Both are correct. Neither is more common. people say what they feel like in that order. We'll go through this one quickly because we don't use vosotros pronouns too much on this side of the Atlantic, okay? But pusisteis, you guys put. Pusisteis, you guys put them, I don't know, stamps, information, something, los. You put it en la cartera, you put it in the mail, right? To them. So we need a celos. Celos pusistes. Bien. Diego debe explicar. Diego should explain. He should explain, direct object, it, something, to me. And I've got a double verb phrase, but we want it in front of the conjugated verb here. So it becomes Diego me lo debe explicar. Me lo debe explicar. Because I've got the two verb phrase, I could just as correctly say, Diego debe explicármelo. Diego debe explicármelo is the same thing, just with those pronouns in a different order because of the infinitive that I can tag it onto. Victoria compró. Victoria compró. She bought something. Oh, she bought it. La. We don't know what the la is. She bought it for me. She bought it for me. Victoria me la compró. Me la compró. She bought it for me. Bien. Yo escribo. I'm writing lo. It. I'm writing it. Te. To you. El orden es. Yo te lo escribo. I'll write it down to you. I'll write it to you. Bien. Or I'll write it down for you. Esto es complicado. Pienso buscar. Pienso buscar. Pienso is I think, but here it doesn't really mean I think. Pienso combined with an infinitive is I plan to. I intend to. Pienso buscar. I plan to look for, las, them. I'm looking for something plural. I'm planning to look for them and I'm doing it for you. Okay. Cuando tenga suficiente tiempo. When I may have enough time. Obviously, it's not now because it's subjunctive. It means it hasn't happened yet. When I may get some extra time. Okay. But we know that I'm looking for this information for you, and it's a bunch of stuff here. It's a plural, algo plural, las. Te las pienso buscar, te las pienso buscar. We could just as easily say, because it's a two verb phrase, pienso buscártelas. Pienso buscártelas. You could put them in that order as well. Vale, exijo, I demand. I demand it of you. Te lo exijo, meaning I insist, I demand that you do something. Okay, vamos a comprar, and here they wanted us to tag it on to the infinitive. We would really need an accent mark here on the ar of comprar. Vamos a comprar, and we've got a la, and we've got a les. We know that the les is a we got a substitute, okay? So it becomes, vamos a comprársela, vamos a comprársela. Because it's a two verb combo, you could have phrased that as, se la vamos a comprar. Se la vamos a comprar is just as correct as vamos a comprársela. Bien, próximo. Ellos leyeron, they read. They read it, lo. To you guys. Ooh, that one's a little bit odd. We don't use the os that much, right? So the os we know never changes. Ellos os lo leyeron, right? Only in Spain. We'll pass on because we don't use that example that much. Raúl me exigió que entregue. Ooh, entregue means deliver, hand over, give something to, deliver something to. Raúl me exigió. He demanded that I do something, that I hand las, a bunch of things in, le, to him or to her. Raúl me exigió que se las entregue. Raúl demanded that I turn them over to him or I turn them over to her. We don't know if the le is referring to him or to her. The le becomes se. Bien? Vale. Entrega, again, a turn in. Ella entrega. She's handing him in, she's delivering, she's handing him over. Ella, and she's handing them a bunch of things, los, to them, a multiple group of people. Ella, boom, 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 se los entrega. Se los entrega, she's delivering them to them. Bien. Él dio, he gave. He gave it, la, to him or to her. Él, boom, boom, se la dio. Se la dio. He gave it to her, he gave it to him. We don't really know who the le stands for there. Yo nunca voy a contar. I'm never going to tell it to you. I'm never going to tell it to you. Yo nunca voy a contar. Whoa, contártelo. I forgot. It's not separated. Un error mío. Can't be separated words because we've got them tagged down to the end. Contártelo. Nunca voy a contártelo. If we had put the telo in front of voy, it would be two separate words there. Nunca te lo voy a contar. Bien? Vale, magnífico. Ok, a ver. Marta no ha devuelto. Martha has not returned a thing to somebody. Martha has not returned them. Oh, it's a bunch of stuff. To me. Marta no me los ha devuelto. Me los ha devuelto. Bien. Felipe y Ramón robaron. They stole something. No, they stole it from us. Felipe y Ramón nos lo robaron. Nos lo robaron. Lisa cocina. She's cooking. Oh, she's cooking for him or for her. No sabemos. We don't really know. She's cooking it. Un plato. A dish. She's doing it for one person, though. Lisa se lo cocina. Se lo cocina. Bien. Okay. Devuelvo mañana. I'm returning tomorrow. Not I'm returning to a place. I'm returning a thing. Tomorrow. I'm returning, direct object. I'm returning them. Ooh, it's a bunch of stuff I borrowed. To you guys. And again, the os is something we don't use very much here. They only use that in Spain. Os lo devuelvo. Nosotros ponemos en la cartera. We're putting it. And we're putting it in for you guys. So it becomes, os lo ponemos en la cartera. Y haremos cuando deje de llover. We'll make something when it stops raining. Could be we'll do something, but don't think we can do a plural thing. So it's probably making a plural thing. And we're making this plural thing, the los, for a bunch of people, les. Okay? So we need to become, se los haremos. We'll make them for them. Cuando deje de llover, when it stops raining. Víctor contó. Víctor told, like a story. He told it. To me, me. Víctor me lo contó. Me lo contó. ¿Ok? Nosotros devolvemos el próximo mes. We're returning something next month, el próximo mes, the next month. But we're returning a thing, not returning to a place. That's devolver, right? Devolvemos. Devolvemos, and it's a bunch of things, los. We're returning these things, los. To you guys, again, this is the Spain form, so, you know, we won't spend too much time on it. Es obvio. Os lo devolvemos. Os lo devolvemos. We'll return them to you guys. En España solamente. Ellas dan. They're giving. They're giving. Oh, los, them, the direct object. We're giving them a bunch of things to me. They're giving a bunch of things to me. Ellas me los dan. Ellas me los dan. Bien. No quiero decir. I don't want to tell. I don't want to tell it to them. No quiero decírselo. Here I got my words together because we've attached it, right? Decírselo. If they were separate words, I would have to put it in front of quiero. So, celo up here would be okay. If it was no, celo quiero decir. Bien? Vale. Próximo. Next. Hay 6 más. Voy a mandar por carta. I'm going to send it by letter. I'm going to send it, la, to a bunch of people. Les. I'm going to send it to them. Entonces tenemos, se la voy a mandar, se la voy a mandar, se la voy a mandar, 2 verbs. We could say voy a mandársela. Voy a mandársela. I could attach it to mandar if I wanted to. Ernesto y yo compramos. We're buying. We're buying it, lo. For them, a bunch of people. Ernesto y yo se lo compramos. Se lo compramos. It can only go in front of compramos because we have one verb. Traigo tan pronto como sea posible. I'm bringing it as soon as possible. I'm bringing it, lo, to a bunch of people, les. Ok, entonces es se lo traigo. Se lo traigo. ¿Vale? Digo a ellos. I tell them, and I'm using a ellos as a phrase to clarify les. Okay? I'm telling them a bunch of information. To them, a big group of people. Yo se los digo. ¿Vale? Bueno, no quiero devolver. I don't want to return a thing. Oh, I don't want to return a bunch of things less to you. No te las quiero devolver. If I were to attach it to devolver, the second verb, I could say, no quiero devolvértelas. No quiero devolvértelas. Sería posible. It would be possible. Ella compra. She's buying. She's buying it. Una cosa, one thing. For me. Me. Ella me lo compra. Me lo compra. She's buying it for me. ¿Bien? ¿Vale? Entienden. Entonces, dos pronombres a la vez. 2 pronouns at the same time. And that is what you missed, what I mistakenly cut. Perdón. Bueno, eso es todo y hasta jueves. Hasta jueves. Que tengan buen fin de semana. Have a good weekend.